In the medieval period, Southampton was the most important port on the south coast of England, and trade with Europe was widespread. The town would have been bustling with foreign merchants bringing wine and luxury goods to sell in England, and shipping wool and cloth back to Europe. This trade brought great wealth to the town. Initially, the western waterfront was the main focus of the port. Ships would have anchored close to the quay along what is now Western Esplanade, once the former shoreline. Large stone houses lined the quayside, their lower stories used as warehouses and shops. In 1338, Southampton was attacked and looted by French and Genoese raiders. Walls were built along the western shore, completing the defensive circuit of the town and protecting it from further attack. The walls blocked access to the western shore and resulted in a decline of the West Quay as a port. In the 15th and 16th centuries, ships coming into Southampton landed at a new quay on the southern shore by the Watergate. The building of the new quay and its crane was financed by Southampton merchant Thomas Middleton in 1410. Major trading routes changed by the 15th and 16th centuries. Earlier trade was largely concentrated on wool exports and wine imports. Later trade was more widespread, with ships from Italian cities such as Genoa and Venice making frequent visits to Southampton. These brought luxury goods in exchange for English cloth. Evidence of this trade can be traced in the archaeological record. One such example is the evidence of glass. In 1976, about 90 glass vessels were found in two stone-lined cesspits during the excavation of medieval house plot at the corner of Simnel Street and Upper Bugle Street. The glass is thought to have belonged to Roger Machado, a merchant who lived in this house in the late 15th century. The glass was manufactured on the island of Murano in Venice and brought to Southampton, where it was traded. This glass included flasks, beakers and bowls, many of which were decorated with gold leaf, coloured enamel and glass ribbing. The crates were probably dropped and were thrown away on arrival in Southampton. Documents can also provide a record of imports and exports. Southampton's port books, for instance, record all goods brought into the town and the customs duty paid. There are lists of all sorts of things: tons of wine, barrels of herrings, bundles of canvas, exotic fruits, figs and raisins, spices from the Near East, and all kinds. Exports from Southampton were still dependent on two major commodities, wool and cloth. Imports, however, as the documents show, were very varied indeed. 11th and 12th century European pottery in Southampton came largely from northern France and Flanders. This is a reflection of trade links with Norman France in the years after the Norman invasion of England. Most of the imported pottery from the late 13th and early 14th century comes from southwest France, north of Bordeaux. This arrived with the huge cargoes of wine from Gascony. Small amounts of pottery from Spain and Italy were also finding their way, with other cargoes, to Southampton. From the later 14th, 15th and 16th centuries, pottery from all over Europe was arriving in Southampton. Dutch red wares, Spanish lustres, and Italian and German wares were numerous, as well as pottery from France, the Middle East and North Africa. This diversity reflected the general expansion of commercial activity in the later medieval period.